Welcome to the September 8, 2025 meeting of the Great Falls Public Schools Board of Trustees. And I remind us all that these meetings are recorded, audio and video, and will be posted on our website at some point in the future. So keep that in the back of your mind. And at this point in time, Mr. Deakins, would you please administer the roll call?
Thank you. Gordon Johnson.
Here.
Kim Skornagowski.
Here.
Bill Bronson.
Here.
Craig Duff. Here. Marley Sunchild.
Excused.
Amy Thompson.
Here.
And Paige Tarosky.
Here.
Chairman Johnson, you do have a quorum from which to work.
Thank you, Mr. Deakins. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Trustee Duff, would you please lead us? Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Item 4, adopting an agenda.
Mr. Chair,
Trustee Tarosky.
I move that we approve the agenda as presented. Second.
Then moved and seconded to adopt the agenda as presented. Any questions or commentary from our Board of Trustees? Any commentary or question from our gallery here with us this evening? Hearing and seeing none, I'll call for the question. All those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. We have adopted an agenda.
Mr. Chairman,
Trustee Bronson.
I move that we approve the consent agenda with the exception of item 5A, which I propose to be removed and considered separately under action item 8.
Second.
Then moved and seconded to approve the consent agenda with the extraction of an item to be discussed further under Roman 8, action other. All those in favor of the motion, please, any commentary or questions regarding this motion from our Board of Trustees? Any commentary or questions from our gallery here this evening? Hearing and seeing none, I'll call for the question. All those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. That brings us to item Roman 6, communication. Introduction and report of the student representatives. Mr. Boyd. Welcome, Mr. Boyd.
Good evening, Chairman Johnson, members of our board, Superintendent Hoyer. School's back in session, so we're excited to get our students back up to talk to us about what's going on in their environments. Tonight will be their report for September, and we're going to start with CMR going first, followed by Paris, and then Great Falls High. CMR, come on up.
Good evening, Chairman Johnson, Superintendent Hoyer, members of the board, and members of the community. My name is Emerson Hama, and I am a senior at CMR. This is my third year of being a representative. I participate in both cross country and track, being all-state with a ninth place finish in cross country last season and a 5th place finish in the 3200 at state track last season. In my free time, I enjoy spending time with my family, collecting shoes and Hot Wheels, and playing the New York Times games. After high school, I plan to major in business and finance or mechanical engineering. I haven't decided yet. At a school that I can also run collegiately at. And I'm excited for my last year of sharing about CMR.
Good evening, Chairman Johnson, Superintendent Hoyer, members of the board, and members of the community. I'm Lydia Comstock, and I am a junior at CMR. This is my second year being a representative, and I'm going into my first year of being the representative for the Montana Board of Public Education. I play cello and I sing soprano and choir, which I will be attending All-State for. And in addition to that, I love speech and debate, and I spent part of my summer at the National Speech Tournament. The remainder of my summer I spent studying in Nepal, and I love to bake, read, travel, scrapbook. spend time with my family and my many, many pets. After high school, I plan to study policy and political science so that I can eventually work in foreign service, and I'm so excited to share CMR with you this year.
Good evening, Chairman Johnson, Superintendent Hoyers, members of the board, and members of the community. My name is Addie Christ, and I'm a sophomore at CMR. So this is my first year as a student representative here. I'm a three-sport athlete competing in cross country, swimming, and track. I qualified for state in both cross country and swimming last year, and lettered in these sports as well. I also play the viola, in which I'll be attending the All-State Festival for the second time this year, and hoping to return to the All Northwest Orchestra for the second time as well next year. In my free time, I love creating art, playing music, and spending time with my family and being outside. I love to hike, climb, rappel, and be out on the lake during the summer, and I enjoy skiing and pond hockey in the winter. After high school, I plan to major in music performance and get a degree in biomedical research at an out of state university. I also started a project recently called the Encore program, and I'm kind of revamping this program, and it's going to help bring more music to our community and more instruments to our schools. I'm super excited to work with Emerson and Lydia and sharing exciting things happening at CMR this year. Okay, so we have our foreign exchange students. They want to come up here. First we have Giovanna, who's from Brazil, and she's not here right now. She's excited to experience Christmas and snow in the United States, and she also loves watching soccer and hanging out with her friends. So who we do have here is Prim from Thailand.
Welcome.
So, my name is Prim, and my first name and my last name is Parichaya Imrisi. It's quite long and hard to pronounce, but yeah. So, I'm an exchange student from Thailand, and I'm going to CMR as a junior this year. I hope to get a chance to try it out for basketball in this winter. And I'm really excited for American holidays and homecoming because I heard a lot of them. And I wish I have a wonderful year this year.
Well, welcome. Happy to have you here.
Finally, our last foreign exchange student is from Spain. His name is Jacobo, and he is excited for big school events, specifically homecoming. He loves soccer as well and is a swing player on both our JV and varsity teams at CMR.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to have you here.
Okay, so now we have our first lesson that we loved. In Mr. Hibbert's honors chemistry class, students experimented with aluminum and copper 2 chloride in their first lab. They were able to experiment and identify chemical and physical changes of these substances while learning about single displacement reactions. This was a fun and interesting lab that was a great way to start off the school year and learn what honors chemistry is all about. We had some community in our service, and even though the school year has just begun, students are already getting involved in the community. Students, along with a local church, helped clean up CMR campus before school started, and we also had orchestra students volunteer at the Luminary Walk.
All right. For our next lesson we loved, Mr. Halverson's AP government classes have been full of chatter as students debate the constitutionality of proposed 28th Amendment. Some argue for freedom of speech and others for the future of democracy. With each new perspective, they're becoming more politically literate and excited to engage. We're only a week into the school year and sports have already begun. Golf was the first to kick off in Anaconda, with Brooklyn Hageman and Jack Pinsky placing first in both the girls and boys, respectively. The Belgrade Invite also took place last week, with half of the players placing top 10. Soccer faced off against Billings Skyview on August 29th, and most recently had their first crosstown of the season, with both boys and girls ending in 1-1 ties. Cross country was in Cut Bank on the 29th and Belgrade on the 5th, shaking off the rust from the summer and showing off some new fitness. Football started on the 29th with a win against the defending state champs Helena Capital, and they played in Missoula against Sentinel on the 4th. Volleyball started off strong, defeating both Kalispell schools on August 30th, Helena Capital on the 2nd, and sweeping the East-West crossover tournament at CMR this past weekend. Good job, Rustlers. Another lesson we loved, in Mr. Hibbert's AP chemistry class, students got to review the spectrophotometer they practiced on last year in honors chemistry. Using different dilutions of blue dye number 1, they ran each sample through the spectrophotometer and recorded the absorbance and transmittance of each. The students created a calibration curve graphing the negative logarithm of transmittance, which is also absorbance, versus concentration. The slope of the line will help determine the concentration of an unknown sample. This is a good way to review concepts from the previous year. The annual high school house groundbreaking is on Thursday, September 11th. We are so proud of all of our students and the work they do in this community. This is one of our favorite traditions. The speech and debate team had their first meeting of the year for freshmen to meet upperclassmen and get an introduction to the program. Kids are excited to start the season off on October 25th. BPA also had their first meeting of the year. New students learned from current members and treats were enjoyed by all. It's exciting to see all of our CMR clubs kick off the new school year.
Good evening again, Chairman Johnson, Superintendent Hoyer, and members of the board. Another lesson that we loved was in Mrs. Rollins' AP Statistics class. Students were learning about dot plots, stem plots, and histograms. To gather some data, students were instructed to count the number of pairs of shoes they had at home. This led to a set of data that was unique. The students put the data into each of 3 types of graphs and determined whether the variable was discrete or continuous. The CMR Performing Arts Department has been busy. The drama department held auditions and released the official cast for their upcoming production of The Addams Family. Choir students have already started preparing their performance for homecoming week, and orchestra students have been fundraising all summer for their trip to the National Festival in San Francisco. In addition to that, all of the students in the music programs waited anxiously over the summer to see who made it to All-State. Congratulations to all the students who made All-State and the Addams Family cast. While most students were at home, student government members came to school early on the first day. They helped give tours to freshmen and transfer students, and present important information about school rules and traditions. What a great start to the new year. Another lesson that we loved, or I guess an ongoing lesson, was in Miss Ingman's Honors English 5-6 class. They have been enjoying a new daily ritual. Most days from now until the end of the year, they get to start off class by writing for 5 minutes about an interesting prompt. They wrote about new beginnings, things that brought them joy, and the brave ones went totally off script. It's such a great way to improve writing over time and encourage creativity. And finally, we have Rustler Pride. The beginning of the school year is always full of excitement, and the first day assembly was full of fun because of the hard work of the pep band, ROTC, cheerleaders, wranglers, and upperclassmen. With meets, matches, games, and so much more, we can't wait to see what the upcoming year holds. We are so proud of our students, old and new, as they take on the year with positive attitudes. They are Rustler Pride. And that concludes our presentation. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, Chairman Johnson, Superintendent Hoyer, trustees, and members of the community. My name is Aspen Logan Swecky. I'm a senior at Paris Education Center. I'm here to present to you today. For the first few days of school, Paris Gibson students and staff spent time building relationships, attending seminars filled with fun and games. We started this school year off with 55 new students, and these first impressions really matter. The Indigenous Education Department set up our beautiful lounge this week. Students did the heavy lifting under the direction of staff. Students learned about pole placement and the order of operations, along with how to place the canvas on the pole structure. Students also practiced the mini replicas in the classrooms to solidify their skills. Students learned the beautiful story of how pearls were formed with chemistry and biology. The popular science seminar results in students walking away with a piece of pearl jewelry. This is the one that I made. I attended the seminar and I thought it was very intriguing and fun. I learned a lot about how pearls are formed and the rarity of them.
Good evening, Chairman Johnson, Superintendent Hoyer, trustees, and member of the community. My name is Caitlin McClure. I'm a junior at Paris Gibson Education Center. In the intro to beating, where math and art meet, let me try that again, very sorry. In the world of beating, math and art meet, and students learn to make wearable art with simple mathematical patterns. All students start with a lesson in making earrings and then later advance to loom beading or other more technical patterns of their choice. So far, we have 3 blood drives planned this year. Our first one starts on September 27th, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. And our next 2 will happen in winter and spring. Anybody who plans to donate at these blood drives can call Judy at 406-268-6600 to reserve a time to donate. Thank you and have a happy school year.
Thank you.
Good evening, Chairman Johnson. Sorry, I just came from cross country. I'm a little tired. Superintendent Hoyer, trustees, and members of the community. My name is Seth Royer, and I'm a senior at Great Falls High, finally. And I get to start off our September board report. Starting off with our senior sunrise, our Great Falls High seniors kicked off the great year with a bit of a cloudy senior sunrise, but I was able to get a picture of it peeking over the school right there. It was a beautiful early start to the school year, so big thanks to everyone involved and all the people that showed up to make this event really special. Our staff and admin had a back-to-school breakfast full of blueberry and chocolate chip pancakes, sausage, and eggs. This is a great way to show respect for all they do in the Great Falls High community. What a great way to kick off the school year for them. Next up is our Bison Beginnings. Great Falls High had Bison Beginnings on the first day of school with our freshmen and new students getting to school at 8 o'clock for a day of instruction on tradition and finding their classes. A huge thanks goes out to all the Stuco and teachers who helped the first day go smoothly. After the senior sunrise, I get to watch a couple freshmen walk into school at 8, and I felt really happy. Fall sports are already in full swing with volleyball, soccer, and football all having home games already. I'm pretty sure soccer's already had crosstown, and I don't know how that went, but hopefully we won. I don't know. Is it tie? That makes everybody happy. Okay. Cross country's had a couple meets, and we're scoring pretty highly, which is fun. And all of our student athletes are doing really great, and we're so proud of them. Hopefully, you all get the chance to come out and support the Bison. And I'm going to hand it off to Caitlin now.
Good evening, Chairman Johnson, Superintendent Hoyer, trustees of the board, and members of the community. My name is Caitlin Fulbright, and I'm a junior at Great Falls High, and I'll be continuing our presentation. This year, Great Falls High is doing something different in the past years with our cheer and dance team. They've decided to all join together and become a spirit squad that works together to bring the school spirit and show inclusion. They still have their own identities, but when it comes to cheering on our sports teams and dancing during half times, they combine during pep assemblies and school events. We are excited to see how this new transition goes as a spirit squad. Our 2025 royalty candidates have been chosen for this year. Congratulations to Luke Allen, Coulter DeVos, Jericho J, Michael Lemire, Braden Williams, Eliana Frank, Evie Green, Aletta Hagan, Bree McDonald, and Ayla Wood. Our 2025 homecoming things have also been picked. Monday is Meme Monday. Tuesday is Dress Like a Teacher, and students dress like teachers. Wednesday's class themes: seniors are reality TV, juniors are animated, sophomores are fantasy, and freshmen are sitcoms. On Thursday, it's our traditional dress classy day to watch the homecoming candidates perform, and on Friday, it's Bison Pride. Some of our teachers at Great Falls High are going to host trips to Italy, France, and the Galapagos. This will be a great opportunity for our students to get out and see what the world has to offer.
Good evening, Chairman Johnson's, Superintendent Hoyer, trustees, members of the community. My name is Weston Stoll. I'm a 10th grader at Great Falls High School, and I'm happy to finish this presentation for you. All Northwest Choir. For the year 2025 through 2026, Great Falls High Delphian Choir got invited to and asked to sing for the 15th time to represent high school choir talent. This year, Delphian will travel to Tacoma, Washington. Good job, Delphian, and good luck. Science teachers Mike Hodges and Matt Cray had their geology club featured in a Rock and Gem magazine August edition. The article focused on how two teachers got into geology, the process that they have used, and how the club has sparked students' interest in geology. Great job, Hodges and Cray, for inspiring students within the classroom. A lesson we love. Miss Wiles' General Physics Junior posing with their boats before hitting the water. They brought creativity, teamwork, and a little bit of bison spirit to the Great Falls High pool. History of Great Falls High. The news article from 1998 about Great Falls High. Here are some things you might not know about. The school day went from 9 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. If you disturbed the school day, it was a misdemeanor and you could get fined from $10 to $100. People were between the ages of 6 to 21 for the entire school district. If you vandalized the school, you would need to fix it or you would be expelled till you fixed it. High school costs $3 a month for non-residents, and a no subject less than 3 candidates were allowed to be taught. These are just a few of the neat history facts about Great Falls High, and a big thanks to Great Falls High Tribune and newspaper.com for this page. Remember to follow us on Facebook and Instagram to stay up on date on all the awesome things we do at Great Falls High. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, I have to say that hearing about cheer and dance, track and field, homecoming royalty, geology club, building boats, we're all quite jealous, aren't we? It sounds like a lot of fun that you guys are having. And so we're so proud of what you're doing, and thank you for those reports. Moving on, communication, item B, superintendent's report, Mrs. Hoyer.
Well, thank you, Chairman Johnson, members of the board, members of our community. That is incredibly difficult to follow. These amazing young students as they represent not only our district, but their school and our community. And we're really, really proud of them. It was fun to see. And I'd like to know whose boat it was that was upright in the water. We'll have to ask Mrs. Wiles whose boat that was. Wasn't any of yours, was it? No. Okay. Okay. So before we begin, just a couple of changes to let you know. First of all, behind you, that is our future home of Character Strong. So our carpenters were in here today and they began the work on putting that up. It'll pretty soon have a wooden trim around it and it'll be painted and covered. And then Mr. Kornick from over at Paris is helping us out with the labeling of Character Strong. And so as our elementary students come forward and talk, we'll be putting things up there for you to see. So we're really excited about that. And then there are going to be some holidays between now and our next board meeting or this month that I will be highlighting next board meeting. We will have Constitution and Citizenship Day coming up. That is on the 17th of this month. Just as a reminder, it's 238 years old, our Constitution is. American Indian Heritage Day is on the 26th of this month, and then Freedom Week wraps up this month with the 22nd through the 26th. More to come on that. But a thank you in advance to Miranda Murray. She is doing a fantastic job organizing all sorts of information, and I'll show you some of the cool things that we're going to be pushing out to teachers. So a celebration. This summer, Mr. Ty Moore was recognized as the 2025 Administrator of the Year for SHAPE Montana. SHAPE is the Society for Health and Physical Education. Mr. Moore is here this evening, and I'm just going to have him wave because he's had a long day. He's the principal of Sacagawea Elementary for us. He was recognized for his support of health and physical education at the local level and for exemplifying the highest standards and accomplishment, innovation, and leadership as our outstanding administrator of the year. So, Mr. Moore, congratulations.
Here, here.
A very special thank you to our community. Last time that I visited with you, I shared how our generous community donors provided meals to our new teachers and our specialists. This meeting, we get to thank our generous community donors who provided swag for the welcome bags. And look at all of those individuals and those companies that came together and gave Becky Nelson goodies to put in the purple mother puppers bags that our new staff took home. There were some really cool things, from coupons for free ice cream and Voyagers tickets. There was, I think, a pizza cutter in there and some barbecue shears. There were gift certificates. There was hand sanitizer. You name it, it was in there. And we couldn't say welcome in a more wonderful way without the help of our community. They really stepped up and wrapped their arms around our newest employees. So it's a very special thank you to them. Staffing, wanted to update you as we continue to move through staffing. So we have 17 total teacher openings right now, plus 2 long-term substitutes that are in positions in, I believe, a world language. I'm looking over at Mr. Decon's world language and family consumer science. But special education, we still have 16 openings. It's important to note that 9 of those have been open for over a year. So it's not like we had 16 just last year. This is kind of a compounding effect of that. And then we have 1 elementary counselor opening. I'm hoping that Mrs. Mainwaring and I have a lead on perhaps an elementary counselor, a member of our community who left us for a job in a larger urban setting, emailed us a wonderful email and told us he didn't realize how much they would miss our school system. And they're looking to get back to Great Falls. And so we're keeping our fingers crossed that he pursues a conversation with the OPI and maybe we can have another elementary counselor in our ranks. So we're excited about that possibility. So you heard about the high school house groundbreaking. Really is cool. So Emerson, I would agree with you. It's a pretty amazing event to go to see the house that is at ground level with not much there. I think our foundation is poured and we have starting to put some walls up, but we'll see it there all the way to a walk-in ready home for a family in the spring. So we will celebrate that on September 11th. We will kick that day off, but then we also are going to be doing a business after hours because we're members of our Chamber of Commerce. And we're going to highlight Lewis and Clark Elementary's inclusive community playground. This is a celebration because we received a community block development grant to help us with that playground, but we also partnered with MSDB to make this inclusive. So fingers crossed on Thursday, September 25th, 4 to 6. Everybody is welcome. Please join us as we cut the ribbon on this. I believe your husband's probably going to be racing people down slides, Mrs. Jakes, because those are quite the slides for the kids over at Lewis and Clark. It's really cool. And we will be serving milk and cookies, which is a little bit of a divergence for other business after hours events in our community. But please join us for this celebration. We are looking forward to showing off our newest playground and welcoming students to play on it and learn. So I have 2 data for the day slides that I want to share with you. And the first one is when you're looking at our buses and the amount of busing that we do and the number of miles that we travel. So we have 25 IDEA, so our Individuals with Disabilities in Education Act, so our special education assist routes throughout our district. We have 42 general routes. We have 2 Type E vans. For those of you who have seen the minivans driving around town, it says school bus on the back. That's what we're talking about. We make 8 midday runs for students who need to have a compressed or shortened schedule in the middle of the day. There are 68 drivers. 4 of them did not return to us. But the cool thing is that Big Sky Bus Lines added 12. And so we're on the positive side there. All of those vehicles and those 68 drivers combine to drive 4,989 miles per day on average. For each driver, that's about 73. And we say that about 73 because some of them do multiple routes, some of them have some other things that they do for us. You roll that into the year, 871,844 miles per year to serve our 7,932 students who are eligible. This is for the runs that they're on, but this also includes our athletes for the trips and our school events that are on our buses. As a reminder, there is the state law where we have to have safety drills for every student who is in our school who could possibly be on a bus. And so that's everybody at any given time. You have to do them 2 times a year, whether they ride to and from school or not. So we did our first one already, and then they'll do the second one at the start of second semester. And our last data for the day deals with athletics. So I started collecting this because I know we like to see a 3 to 5 year trend. So this was last year moving forward. You'll see some adjustments to my numbers. So with high school football, we're holding pretty steady with about 228 kids, down just one from last year. Volleyball is also holding steady. Cross country is down just a few, but not much. Boys soccer and girls soccer too is holding steady. This year, our girls is down just a tad. Our golf numbers, however, are up. When you look at pep band last year, when I shared this with you, I shared that there are 266 students in pep band. Those are the students that are eligible to play in pep bands. The ones that are actually showing up are the ones that I showed this year, which is 167. So it's not that we have any less students. It's about what we had last year, but these are the kids showing up after hours to celebrate their peers and their schools. And they turn the tide. They're in charge of really momentum swings, along with the cheerleaders and the spirit in the dance. So when you look at the cheerleaders, you might see that there's a little bit of a drop in cheerleaders, but that's bumped up by the number of spirit and dance. Some of that's due to the realignment at Great Falls High. JROTC, last year we only counted color guard. And then I got thinking, we have more than color guard with JROTC. We have our students who do the archery shooting. We have the students who compete doing the esports. We have the students who do the trivia. We have a whole bunch of students. So in all, 91 of our JROTC students are involved in some capacity beyond just their studies. And that's a total of 962 students. I'll be drilling down into that a little bit more with middle school as those numbers come in and sharing that with you. But our students are involved in Great Falls, and it gives them a connection to school in a very special way. So thank you to all of the coaches who coach, the administrators who supervise, but most of all to all those students who go out and make the most of their high school experience. With that, that is my report for this evening. Thank you.
Thank you. Communication C, audience communication. I've received no requests to speak before this Board of Trustees this evening, and that enables us to move on to Roman 7, which is action items. But before that, I would like to offer our student reps the opportunity to leave and do what it is you guys do so well. And thank you again for sharing the details of your first couple of weeks of school with us. So we look forward to seeing you again in 2 weeks. Thank you. One more time. Action item A, initial startup costs for baseball as a Great Falls Public Schools sport. Mr. Boyd.
Good evening again. First 101,000 from the foundation and Stephanie's team in the foundation to our accounts for the schools so that they're able to build a baseball program with Mr. Hindenburg for the spring of 2026. Noting that there is a second fundraising goal that accounts for all of the travel and coaching salaries for the second part of the year, and then 2 other goals that happen every January after that. but this will allow us to get the equipment and the uniforms and everything that needs to get done well before January and process and work. So I would request that you approve the $101,000 to move from the foundation into our general fund accounts for baseball.
Thank you, Mr. Boyd.
Mr. Chair,
Trustee Trotsky.
I move that we approve the acceptance of $101,000 in startup costs for high school baseball from the Great Falls Public Schools Foundation and improve baseball as a Montana High School Association sport for the 2025-2026 school year.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to move the $101,000 startup costs for baseball from the foundation to the general fund. Any questions or commentary from our Board of Trustees? Any questions or commentary from our remaining gallery? Hearing and seeing none, I'll call for the question. All those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Boyd. Action item B, trustees as voting delegates to the Montana School Board Association Delegate Assembly at the Montana Conference of Educational Leadership. And as it stands, those of us who are attending in person, MCL and Helena in October, will be Trustee Bronson, Trustee Skonogowski, and myself. By virtue of us three being those ones in attendance, I would propose that we then serve as voting delegates to the General Assembly.
Mr. Chair,
Trustee Skonogowski.
I move to accept the appointments of the three trustees just listed to be delegates for the Montana School Board Association Delegate Assembly.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to appoint Trustee Bronson, Trustee Skonogowski, and myself as voting delegates at the MCEL conference coming up in October. Any questions or commentary from our Board of Trustees? Any commentary from our gallery? One fewer already. My goodness. And I'll call for the question. All those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same side. Motion carries. Thank you. We promise to represent you well. Action item C, school psychologist compensation 2016-2017. Mr. Deacons.
Good evening again, Chairman Johnson, members of the board, Superintendent Hoyer, and members of our community. I'm here tonight to let Heather Spurzum, our interim director, get a little experience and see how the conversation goes here. So I'll be presenting this. With our school psychologist compensation package that we have for 2025-27, it is a handbook, it is not a CBA, but I'll walk you through what those pieces look like. There are 12 individuals in that particular group. They are licensed and certified as school psychologists. All of these are required under special education law and necessary for us to do our business within Great Falls Public Schools, especially with the assessment of children with disabilities. They assist in many other management areas as well throughout the RTI or individual processes as well. When we talk about the fiscal implications of this, again, it looks a lot like the teachers because our certified generally does look like the teachers. There's a 4% increase in 25-26, while a 30% increase in 26-27. What that means is the approximate budget will be $936,653 in 25-26, which is a $36,025 increase over the previous year, and then 26-27 would be $964,752 with an increase of about $28,099. There is an increase of a longevity stipend like we have done with the other individual certified or licensed groups across the district, that they will receive that after year 18. I think there was a question Trustee Bronson had asked me earlier. Just to clarify, we keep that similar across all of those. It's after year 16, but on the salary schedule it says step 18. Sorry, year 18. It said step 18. So just to clarify that step 18 does mean year. We keep track of it as it goes by, just to clarify. Building coverage, when we're down a position and it's unfilled for the particular school year, there is a $750 stipend for that individual that's taking over for that school as well. There were a few language changes. When we look at it, the dates, again, we've modified to make sure that they say next available business day when it's a particular date in the handbook. If it's a holiday or a specific date in which we do not have school, we have also altered it so that there's a 5 bereavement days rather than the 3. So that's consistent across our district again with bereavement. And then building coverage, we worked closely with them when they're having that. That's at $750. That does have the stipend that goes along with it, but also there's 8 calendar readjustment hours per semester that they receive. And then the other pieces are the salary schedules that are attached. So with that, I would ask the district board to approve the 2-year psychologist handbook for the 25-26 and 26-27 school years as presented.
Thank you, Mr. Deacons.
Mr. Chair,
Trustee Skrulowski.
I move we approve the 2-year school psychologist handbook for the 2025, 2026, and 26-27 school years as presented.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to approve the 2-year school psychologist handbook for 25-26, 26-27. Any questions or commentary from our Board of Trustees? Any from our gallery? Hearing and seeing none, I'll call for the question. All those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Deacons. Action item D, second reading of new and revised board policies 2050, 2100, 23, 35, 31, 41, 3310, 3416, 3655, and 5255. Mrs. Hoyer.
Well, thank you, Chairman Johnson, members of the board, and member of our community. Boy, it sure I bring before you the second reading. With the exception of one, I have had no feedback as of the start of this meeting. So I would request that you approve policy 2050, 2100. We will discuss, I believe, Trustee Bronson will discuss a friendly amendment to 2335 that comes through MTSBA. Then 3141 is written, 3310, 3416, 3655, and 5255 is written. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman,
Trustee Bronson.
in accordance with Superintendent Hoyer's statement, I move that we approve the policies listed in the agenda report with the exception of an amendment to policy 2335, which I will explain once the motion is seconded.
Thank
Second.
Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Bronson.
The other trustees may have noticed this. Last week, we received an email from Director of Policy Services at MTSBA, Tony Koenig, who noted, just through an inadvertent error on his part, the version of Policy 2335 that we considered at the policy committee level is actually somewhat incorrect. It includes the phrases sexual orientation and gender identity twice in the statement. It should only be included within the policy statutory definition of identity instruction. So for purposes of approving the new policy 2335, the amendment simply strikes sexual orientation and gender identity from page 42, line 14 of your agenda, as these are already included within the definition of identity instruction, which immediately follows that. That's the purpose of the amendment. What we need to do is we need to vote on that amendment part first, and then we'll come back to all of the proposals as they were originally submitted.
Thank you. So can I hear a motion to address the amendment?
Mr. Chair,
Trustee Tarosky.
I move that we approve the amendment suggested by Trustee Bronson.
Second.
First and second, it's been moved and seconded to approve the amendment as mentioned by Trustee Bronson. Any commentary or questions from our Board of Trustees? And thank you for that explanation, by the way, Trustee Bronson. Any other commentary? Hearing none, I'll call for the question. All those in favor of the amendment, please signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Now, on to the remaining policies.
So the recommendation as it stands is that the board is requested to approve the new and revised and amended board policies 2050, 2100, 2335 is amended, 3141, 3310, 3416, 3655, and 5255. Thank you.
Thank you.
Need another motion?
Yeah.
Mr. Chair,
Trustee Tarasky.
I move that we approve new and revised board policies 2050, 2100, deleted policy 2335, amended policy 2335, 3141, 3310, 3416, 3655, and 5255 as presented.
Second. Moved and seconded to approve the policies as enumerated by Trustee Tarasky. Any questions or commentary from our Board of Trustees? Any commentary from our gallery? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Thank you very much, those who work on policy. Mr. Bronson, thank you. Mrs. Hoyer, thank you. Moving on to Roman 8, Action Other. And we did have an item pulled. The motion was made by Mr. Bronson. I would invite you to elucidate upon the change.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, at this time I will move that we approve the minutes of our August 25th, 2025 meeting with the following amendment. On page 12 of your agenda packet, lines 40 through 42. Bear with me here for a moment.
Mm-hmm.
The amendment would change the language in lines 40 through 42 as follows, and I've already provided the text of this to staff. It would simply read motion, Paige Tarosky, seconded Bill Bronson, to approve the 3-year negotiated contract with Coca-Cola Bottling Company High Country as presented. Motion failed, no votes in favor, 7 opposed. And if there's a second, I can then speak to the reason why the amendment's proposed.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Please proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The reason this amendment is proposed is that the way the language in the current version of the minutes reads, it's technically not what we voted on. We had a positive motion to approve the contract, but based upon all the considerations that were mentioned at the meeting, all 7 trustees voted against the motion. So it may seem overly technical, but for purposes going forward, when you have a positive motion that fails, you should recognize that in the record. That's why I proposed this language.
Thank you. I would entertain a motion to amend.
Motion's already been made.
Very good. Any commentary? Any questions from our Board of Trustees? Anything from our gallery? Hearing and seeing none. All those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. And thank you very much, Mr. Bronson, for that clarification. I think we've got that cleaned up. Moving on, Roman 9, reports, discussion, and policies. A, opening of school report and summer school data. Mrs. Meadwaring, welcome.
Good evening. Thank you for having me. Chairman Johnson, members of the board, Superintendent Hoyer. It is the beginning of the school year, and we have a little bit of data and information to share with you about our summer and the start of the school year. So the first slide that we want to talk about is our enrollment. And if you look at the numbers along the bottom, you will see that our numbers are a bit lower than they were last year. I do want you to note, though, that the numbers in the columns on the left, all the columns except the very far right one, are from count day in October. This information in the last column for 2025 was taken the day after Labor Day. So we're about a month out from what our count date will be. So just preliminary information for you, but we are down just about 100 or so kids. On the next slide, our online enrollment. We began the Edgenuity online school for credit accrual at our 7th through 12th grades. We have approximately 76 students enrolled at this time. Some are full-time online, some are a little bit of a hybrid, and approximately 30 of those students are new to Great Falls Public Schools. Summer school. We had some elementary summer school with Summer Jump Start, and this has a literacy focus, and it's for pre-K students through entering third graders. We had 2 sites, West and Lewis and Clark, this summer from June 10th through July 3rd. So it was a quick, full day experience for the kids. It was 4 weeks and all day during those 4 weeks. We had 164 students register, and then 131 of them attended. Certification was sent to OPI from our data center last week, and so that'll be that extra quarter A and B for those students. We look at the data from that. In order to qualify for Jumpstart, students had to score below benchmark in the middle of the year on an assessment that we do for students. We also gave that same assessment to students at the end of the school year. So when we look at that end of the school year assessment, and then how they scored on that same assessment again at the end of Jumpstart, 52.53% of them showed growth during those 4 weeks. So as much as we could narrow that down, over half of them grew. And then that 9% is students who grew, but they also now scored at benchmark for their grade level. So that's good. On the secondary side of the house, we also had summer school. We had more than 163 high school students receive credit. It's just a few less than last year, fewer, but we awarded 271 half credits at the high school level. And our Indigenous Education Department had 12 half credits with 4 students that participated. We also have our virtual academy that we run during the summer. So we had 263 students enroll for summer classes through that platform. It's taught by Great Falls Public Schools teachers. And we had 423 half credits. So those students took more than one class often. That's great. And student services also had extended school year, as we do every year. This year we had 114 students that were offered services. 76 students attended, 90% or more of the 19-day program in June, and that ran pretty consistently with our Jumpstart program for dates.
Any questions for Mrs. Mainwaring? Trustee Skordowski.
Just a quick question about summer school opportunities for high school students. Are those numbers just sophomore, juniors, and soon to be like incoming sophomore, junior, seniors, or does that include freshmen as well?
Includes freshmen as well.
Okay.
Any other questions for Mrs. Yes, Trustee Thompson.
I was wondering about the 30 new online enrollment. Are they from Great Falls or state?
Yes, they have to be from Great Falls.
They have. Okay, I
Mhm.
couldn't remember. What the, okay, thank you.
Any additional questions? If not, thank you very much for your report.
Thank you.
Moving on to B, first reading of new and revised board policies 1051 FE, 3650, and 5430 F. Mrs. Hoyer.
Thank you, Chairman Johnson, members of the board. The policies that I bring to you this evening on first read are fewer than last time, but B reflect a lot of change that comes to us from legislative updates as MTSBA works to get the updated language to us. So starting with 1015 FE, If you take a look on line 17, that's page 66, line 17, you'll see that there's a strike from grades 7 through 12. That's a change in funding, or not funding, but a focus on career opportunity for grades 6 through 12. That really was a push from Representative Tillman as he worked in the legislature. So we want to be sure we give him a shout out and thank him for that. And then the definition of transformational learning down at the bottom. It is a legal update, but please note that Great Falls Public Schools has historically used this definition of transformational learning. We've been a member of that grant for years, since its inception, as an approved opportunity to personalize experiences for students. For policy 3650, you will notice on lines 9 through 15, page 67, that is a language update per law that comes to us, and it has been codified, so that is also memorialized on line 15 as well. And again, thank you to Allie for keeping up with all of that in all of the cross references and legal references as well. And then if we move over to 5430F, this is the volunteer agreement form for coach, helpers, aides, and chaperones. You will notice on line 14 the striking of the word regular unsupervised access, because it's really hard to define what's regular and what's not regular. We felt that was just an odd word to have in there. Clarify the language in that, and so we are proposing that we take that out. And so with that, those are the first readings of updated policies. Again, thank you to the policy committee who works really, really hard on keeping up with all of the legal changes to our policies, and to Allie for pulling it all together for us.
Thank you very much. Any questions for Mrs. Hoyer regarding these policies or members of our policy committee? No? Thank you very much for your good work. Reports, discussion, and policies. C, discussion, committee reports, and comments. Ms. Thompson.
All right, I don't have too much.
I sort of ambushed you there, didn't I?
That's all right. That's all right. Well, first I want to thank everyone for our athletic pass that we get. As I always say, that's my payment for being on the board. So, and I already got a chance to use it. Went to Crosstown Soccer, and I just wanted to point out, yes, 1-1 ties across the board, JV as well, boys and girls, and varsity boys and girls.
Well, that's good to know.
Very consistent. And then I loved Mr. Hobble's, I think it was Mr. Hobble's addition to the Bison report, the history lesson. I am guessing that came, yeah, I really like that. And yeah, I think that's about it for me.
Thank you, Mr. Duff.
Hi, not a lot. Also excited to be back for the new school year. Excited to meet the student representatives and get to know them through the course of the year. Went to some of the crosstown soccer. It was good to see the enthusiasm and the school spirit from both schools. And it's a good time as always.
Good, thank you. Trustee Tarowski.
Thank you. Luke, great job on your inaugural meeting as our Director of Business Operations. You did great. And I just keep all the teachers and staff in your minds. As the students are tired, the teachers are tired. We've been doing bus drills and fire drills and lockdown drills, and the honeymoon phase is absolutely over, and the kids are back to all their antics. So just keep everybody in your thoughts and prayers going forward, because we're all tired. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Skargowski.
I just wanted to let everyone know that the Worlds of Work is September 23rd. We expect to have 2,000 students from, of course, all Great Falls Public School sophomores and all Great Falls Public School 8th graders, but also students from, I believe, somewhere around 20 schools across the state. There'll be at least 60 employers there, and we need 200 volunteers. So if anyone would like to volunteer the jobs, you don't have to have any knowledge or information pre-cooked in your heads. We need everybody from, people to just welcome the students, to helping guide the students to each of the zones, people that run water to the volunteers. So don't be afraid to volunteer if you've never done it before. And if you want to volunteer, you can go to United Way's volunteer website, which is volunteergreatfalls.org. And there's opportunities for a few hours as well as the whole day. it's a lot of fun. The kids are just thrilled. They're literally getting hands-on work experience with, you know, dogs from Malmstrom to, you know, learning how to weld. They do like weld little, like bison and little wrestler heads. So it's just total hands-on career experience. And it's really just amazing to see kids spark at the idea
They have a lot of fun.
of future careers. So
Very good. Thank you. Trustee Bronson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just want to commend our administrative staff for their responsiveness when people like me late on a Saturday night, when I'm reviewing this agenda and noting questions that I have or items that I think might need some clarification or correction, they always get back to me in a very timely fashion. However, the award for real timeliness goes to Mr. Boyd. There is a 99.9% certainty that if I email him at 9 o'clock on a Saturday evening, he will respond within 5 minutes, which either suggests that he's really interested in his work or he needs a life outside of the administration. So, but seriously, our administrative team are very quick to respond. And again, I'm not expecting something, you know, within 5 minutes on a Saturday evening, but it's much appreciated. And as I noted today, I was meeting with Sean Bubb from the school group insurance, and he made a comment that he said among all the different administrative teams around the state, he has extremely high regard for Great Falls. So I'm passing that along from Sean to the rest of you. Thank you.
Thank you. And I'm going to draw your attention to the board, and we have several things going on. High School House on the 11th, and then our next board meeting. Put all these dates in your calendar, and there's all kinds of things to see and do at the district with athletics and music and all sorts of wonderful activities that we can enjoy. And I'd just like to also thank our administrative staff for what it is you guys do. It's fantastic. People ask me all the time, what's it like to be a board member? And I just say it's a great privilege because I get to hang around so many smart people. So thank you for that. And with that, if there's no further business to come before this Board of Trustees, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
I move to adjourn.
Or adjourn.
Drama.